Good evening, Rahul. So, you're there, you are waiting for me. Thank you. So, Trikant, good evening, good evening. Okay, let us wait for 2 to 3 minutes. Thereafter, we'll start the class. Today, I have taken a fresh chapter, one of the most inspiring and interesting story of plus two first year. Yeah, Chanda beta, good evening, good evening, good evening, good evening. I've seen you all. Good evening, everyone. Good evening, good evening. Nice to see you all there. So, question. Okay, the being asked questions. So here and the chapter. Bhupendra, good evening. Shivasis, good evening. Damrudar, good evening. Three question is being written by Leo Tolstoy. Good evening, Shivasis. It is being written by whom? Leo Tolstoy. Okay, and Leo Tolstoy is one of the eminent Russian poet. Kapil, good evening, Russian poet. Okay, and all time, and it is highly acclaimed story. Trikant, good evening. Acclaimed story in Russia. Okay, and Leo Tolstoy is such a writer who was just a worldly figure, and he normally wrote novels and short stories. So he was a writer. Leo Tolstoy was a writer who was writing novel and stories. Devashish, good evening. Novel and story. Novel कहले उपन्यास, story कहले गप्प. जने गाल्पिक एवं औपन्यासिक. Abhishek, good evening. औपन्यासिक. Okay. And later in life he also wrote plays and essays. Plays, drama. नाटक भी लिखुले किए लियो टॉल्स्टॉय आउ एसे एसे कहले कौन प्रबंध आम जहाँ रचना बोली कहूँ से रचना भी लिखुले किए लियो टॉल्स्टॉय. His War and Peace and Anna Karenina. Yes, good evening, Hemraj. Good evening, Hemraj. Nice to see you there. First time you are watching. Very good, beta. So what happens in this case? So War and Peace and Anna Karenina are those two acclaimed writing of Leo Tolstoy, which is worldly acclaimed within the world. पृथ्वी सारा लोक ताको बहुत प्रशंसा करुले ताको पढ़ुले मध्य. ठीक अच्छे. एंड दिस स्टोरी थ्री क्वेश्चन. तापस, गुड इवनिंग. बापी, गुड इवनिंग. मनीष, गुड इवनिंग. मनीष, नाइस टू सी यू हियर. मनीष, गुड इवनिंग, गुड इवनिंग. सो प्रश्न जीवन रे तीनिटा प्रश्नर महत्व बहुत इम्पोर्टेंस फिले. तीनटा प्रश्नर उत्तर जदि जड़े लोक पाई. गुड इवनिंग भारती बेटा, गुड इवनिंग. सो जड़े लोक जदि से तीनटा प्रश्नर उत्तर पाई जाए, से तीनटा प्रश्नर उत्तर पाईगले से केबे कौन सी काम हाँ फर्स्ट ईयर यस भूल करिबो नाही. किए जब कौन हेले व्हाट थ्री क्वेश्चन आंसर ऑफ थ्री क्वेश्चन इफ वन विल गेट देन he will never do any mistakes. This is the story about गपटा ए विषय अच्छे. ठीक अच्छे. सो तीनिटा प्रश्न गपर ना है तीनिटा प्रश्न. से तीनिटा प्रश्नर उत्तर आज आम खोजा. वृंदावन, गॉड ब्लेस यू, गॉड ब्लेस यू. तीनिटा प्रश्नर उत्तर आम खोजा. चलो खोजा. ताने आर यू रेडी गाइज? सो पेन पेपर साइड रे थिबा दरकार पिले. कीप योर पेन एंड पेपर रेडी बिसाइड यू. सो 10 कौन सी जड़े निश्चित राजा थरे घटी जड़े डेफिनेट राजा गोटे निर्दिष्ट राजा सहित रेडी 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 रेडी. वेरी गुड वेरी गुड वेरी गुड. सो इट वन्स अकर्ड. अकर्ड कहले कौन पिले OCCURED. अकर्ड कहले घटी थिला. पास्ट टेंस अकर्ड कहले घटिबा अकर्ड घटी थिला. तो अकर्ड टू ए सर्टेन किंग. कौन सी एक राजा सहित मन पड़ा कौन दैट if he always knew जदि से जानते, if he always knew the right time to begin everything, time to begin something, कौनसी जिनिष कौनसी काम आरंभ करिवार प्रकृत समय जदि से जानते किए देखी yes if he knew who were the right people to listen to. Second question, first question, what is the first question? If he knew what is the right time to begin something. प्रथम प्रश्न कौन था? हेलो अजित, हेलो. प्रथम प्रश्न कौन थिला? If he always knew the right time to begin something, right time to begin something, this is the first question. जल्दी से जानते if. Second question, if he knew who were the right people to listen to, who were the right people to listen, कहा कथा मु सुनिबा दरकार, whose word I should listen, whose talk I should listen, मु कहा कथा सुनिबा दरकार. जदि एकदा किए जानते, the king, राजा जदि जानी पारंते कौन होता? Next, third number question, and whom to avoid. आउ कहा कथा सुनिबे नाही, whom to avoid, कहा कथा को से avoid करिवे. And above all, सर्वोपरि, above all, above कहले ऊपर हम जानि जे सब ए दुटा को छाड़. 3 नंबर कथा कौन? If he always knew what are the most important thing to do, what was the most important thing to do, जदि से जानी पारंते सबुठारु महत्वपूर्ण काम कौन? बुझेला? सबुठारु महत्वपूर्ण काम कौन? एवॉइड बोले छाड़ी दबा, दूरेई दबा, एवॉइड कहले दूरेई दबा. ठीक अछि. आउ से जदि जानी पारंते सबुठारु महत्वपूर्ण काम कौन तांको पई, व्हाट इज द मोस्ट इंपोर्टेंट वर्क. प्रथम कथा हला व्हाट इज द इंपोर्टेंट टाइम. सेकंड प्रश्न हला हु आर द राइट पीपल. एंड थर्ड थिंग इज व्हाट इज द थर्ड थिंग. द थर्ड थिंग इज व्हाट इज द मोस्ट इंपोर्टेंट वर्क. मने रहला टाइम, people and work. These are the 3 questions. What is the most important time? First thing. Second thing, who are the most important people? Third thing, what is the most important work? ये 3टा प्रश्न. मरेला 3टा प्रश्न. Write down. Okay. Then. Thing to do. Then. Good evening, Kunja. Yeah, nice to see you here. You are new in my channel, perhaps. Okay. He would never fail in anything. He would never fail in anything. से केबे कोनोसी जिनसरे अकृत कार्य होते नहीं. Pintu, 3 question. It is going on 3 question. The first story. Okay. 3 question live class. Shoni, good evening. Nice to see you there. Lots of new students are there. Very good. So, okay, the most important thing to do, he would never fail. से केवल फेल होते नहीं कि राजा. He would never fail in anything he might undertake. से जो काम करमते, जो काम भूमिकांत गुड इवनिंग, से जो काम आरंभ करेंगे, से काम जो काम स्टार्ट करेंगे, से काम रे से फेल होते नहीं. को 3टा प्रश्नर उत्तर से जानिले. What is the right time to begin something? First question. Second question, who are the right people he should listen to? And third question is what is the third question? The third question is what is the most important thing for him to do? What is the most important work for him to do? ठीक है जी. And this thought having occurred to him, and this thought, यही भावना having occurred to him. Yeah, so these people, this thought having occurred to him, undertake माने गोटे काम को निज कब्जा को नवा, काम आरंभ करिबा, गोटे काम आरंभ करिबा, undertake कहले. So and this thought having occurred to him, कारण ए good evening to sir, occurred to him, he had it proclaimed throughout his kingdom. Proclaimed घोषणा कले, PROCLAIMED, proclaimed कहले घोषणा कले. थ्रू आउट हिज किंगडम, राज्य सारा, थ्रू आउट बोले चारिआडे, थ्रू आउट हिज किंगडम तांका राज्य सारा से घोषणा करेले कौन घोषणा कौन थिला what was the announcement what was he proclaimed about let's see throughout his kingdom that he would give a reward to he would give se debe a great reward bahut upahar to anyone who would teach him what are the right time for every action. Hi sir, Sidesh, yeah, good evening. So what happens if anyone is able to teach him the answer of these three questions? What is the right time to begin something? Who are the right people to listen? And what is the most important thing for him to do? Then he will reward them. तांको से उपहार देबे, प्राइज देबे. किए घोषणा कला? Who declared this? This is being declared by the king. And why? Because he don't want to be fail. से fail हेबा पाई चाहू नथिले. That is the reason why he made announcement throughout his kingdom. He proclaimed throughout his kingdom. And who were the most necessary people and how he might know what was the most important thing to do. Archana, God bless you, beta. Good evening, good evening, good evening. Nice to see you all there. And learned men came to the king, and by his announcement, what happens? Learned men, the knowledgeable person, the so-called knowledgeable person, came to him. बहुत लोक तांको पाखको आसिले प्रश्नर उत्तर दबा पाए आसीबे ना नहीं प्राइज मिलुची बोले किए जीव नहीं समस्ते आसीबे यस नो सो व्हाट हैपेंस in this case what happens lots of people came learned people came to him okay and how he might know what are the most important okay and learned men came to the king but they all answered his question differently but the answers but they are answered whatever they answer jaha se mane uttar dele those were different sabu prashnor alaga uttar dele jete loko bi asile they gave different answer sabu alaga uttar dele to raja good evening achintya you are late ସମସ୍ତେ ଅଲଗା ଅଲଗା ଉତ୍ତର ଦେଲେ କାହାକୁ ରାଜାଙ୍କୁ କୋଉ ପ୍ରଶ୍ନର ଉତ୍ତର ଅଲଗା ଅଲଗା ଦେଲେ those answer of those three questions they gave different answer let us see what were their answer ବର୍ତ୍ତମାନ ଦେଖିବା ସେମାନେ ସବୁ କ'ଣ କ'ଣ ଉତ୍ତର ଦେଲେ କୋଉ କୋଉ ପ୍ରଶ୍ନର ଉତ୍ତର ଦେଲେ ଓକେ in reply to the first question ପ୍ରଥମ ପ୍ରଶ୍ନର ଉତ୍ତରରେ in reply to the first question what happens let us see some said kichi loko kahile some said that to know the right time for every action jodi ame konosi jinso arambho karibaro nirdishto samay thik samay janiba pai kon kariba ame every action one must draw off in advance a table of days one must draw off in advance draw off ankiba तैयारी करिबा ड्रॉ अप कहले आंकिबा बा तैयारी करिबा जेमिति हम गोटे कोन करछु टाइम टेबल करूछे तो जणे लोक को प्रथम गोटे टाइम टेबल तैयारी करिबा दरकार किए कहला किछि लोक कहले कोन दैट इफ यू वांट टू डू अ वर्क इन राइट टाइम देन यू मस्ट ड्रॉ ऑफ a timetable that means you have to write the number of days table of days month and year days months and year वर्ष मास दिन समस्त को गोटे जगार लेखिकी रखा दरकार बोली किसी लोग कहले ओके नेक्स्ट व्हाट हैपेंस एंड मस्ट लिव्ड स्ट्रिक्टली अकॉर्डिंग टू इट एंड मस्ट लिव आउ से जीवन यापन करवा कथा अकॉर्डिंग टू दैट टाइम टेबल से निश्चित भाव से टाइम टेबल भाया जीवन यापन करवा कथा से टाइम टेबल हिसाब से काम करवा कथा दिस द किछि लोकंकर मत थिला एटा दिस इज द व्यू ऑफ सम पीपल देन ओके अकॉर्डिंग टू इट ओनली 10 आउ से माने कहिले दे एडेड ओनली 10 एही प्रकारे ओनली केवल एही प्रकारे ओनली 10 सेड दे कुड एवरीथिंग बी डन कुड स्ट्रिक्टली सक्त भावे स्ट्रिक्टली कहले मैं डेफिनेटली सख्त भाव जेकोसी हालत एट एनी कंडीशन ओके एवरीथिंग बी डन ओके सेड दे कुड एवरीथिंग बी डन एट इट्स प्रॉपर टाइम एंड बाय द वाय यही प्रकार एवरीथिंग कुड बी डन राजेश कुमार गुड इवनिंग एवरीथिंग कुड बी डन विथ इट्स प्रॉपर टाइम सबू जिनस प्रॉपर टाइम रे करा जाई पारिबो एटा किछि लोकंकर मतामत थिला नेक्स्ट देखिबा हमें others declared that it was impossible to decide beforehand the right time for every action Nazim Ahmad sirs okay thank you so what happens here let us see and must live strictly declared okay and said they could everything be done at its proper time everything could be done at its proper time by following the timetable next others declared that it was impossible to decide beforehand the right time beforehand कौनसी जिनस आरंभ हेबा पूर्वर आउ किछि लोक कोन कहिले it is impossible to decide the right time beforehand of commencement of any work कौनसी काम करी आरंभ हेबा पूर्वर से विषय निष्पत्ति नेबा एटा बहुत कष्टकर कथा ठीक अछि देन टाइम फॉर एवरी एक्शन but that not letting oneself be absorbed in idle pastime पिले दुईटा वर्ड कॉम्बिनेशन पास्ट टाइम पास PASS पास अतिबाहित होगा टाइम पास और टाइम दुईटा वर्ड मिसी गले पास्टिम हो जाए माने समयर दुरुपयोग आइडल कहले अलसुआ आइडल कहले अलसुआ so but that not letting oneself be absorbed मज्जी जीवा ABSORBED absorbed कहले मजी जीवा डूब जाना मतलब खो जाना ठीक है तो कौन है किसी लोग कहले आमे सब बेले अलसुआ न होइकरी मीन्स डोंट बी आइडल एंड डोंट बी एब्सर्ब्ड कौन सी काम रे मज्जी न जाए कि खराब काम रे मज्जी न जाए करी कौन करबा idle pastimes one should always attend to all that was going on one should always attend to all that was going on जणे सब बेले जहा घटुची से घटना रे शामिल हेबा दरकार one should always attend to what was going on जणे सब बेले absorbed कहले खो जाना बुड़ी जीवा गोटे जिनस मज्जी जीवा attend to all that was going on and then do what was more needful and good evening Ram so then what happens attend to all that was going on and then do what was most needful and do what was most needful सबुठारु अति दरकार नीडफुल कहले आवश्यक सबुठारु अति आवश्यक जो काम सेही काम को ही करिबा दरकार only we have to do those things that's are most important and most urgent okay we mustn't do unnecessary work others एटा दुईटा दल गला गोटे दल कहले कोन कैलेंडर तैयारी करो ता हिसाब रे काम करो आ गोटे दल कहले अलसुआ हो नाही समय बर्बाद करो नाही आउ जहा होउची जो घटना भलो होउची से घटना को उपभोग करो ठीक अछि द अदर्स तापर थर्ड दल एब्सर्व कहले बुड़ी जीवा मज्जी जीवा मीनिंग पास्ट टाइम कहले समय अपचय करिबा said that however attentive the king might be the other people said however attentive the king might be राजा जेते भी attentive हुअंतु ना कहीं की however attentive जेते भी सजाग हुअंतु attentive कहले सजाग the meaning of attentive is what सजाग जेते भी सजाग हुअंतु ना कहीं की what will happen then okay however attentive the king might be to what was going on जहाँ भी घटुची से घटना सहित जेते अटेंटिव हुंतु जेते स्ट्रिक्टली काम करंतु कोन हबो it was impossible for one man to decide correctly it was impossible for one man to decide correctly the right time for every action what did they tell that it is not possible by a single person to decide the right sequence of all the work at once से माने कौन कहले ସାର୍ ଏଟା ସମ୍ଭବ ନାହିଁ ଯେ ଗୋଟେ ଲୋକ କେଉଁ କାମ ଭଲ କେଉଁ କାମ ଖରାପ ସେଟା ଡିସାଇଡ଼ କରିପାରିବ ନାହିଁ, ଟାଇମ୍ ଡିସାଇଡ଼ କରିପାରିବ ନାହିଁ। ଏଇଟା ଗୋଟେ ଦଳ, ତିନିଟା ଦଳ ତିନି ପ୍ରକାର କହିଲେ every action. But that he could have a council of wise men. But they have given an option. ସେମାନେ ଗୋଟେ ଅପସନ୍ ଦେଲେ। But that he could have a council of wise men. ସେ ଦଳେ ବିଜ୍ଞ ଲୋକମାନଙ୍କର ପରିଷଦ, କାଉନସିଲ୍ କହିଲେ ପରିଷଦ, ମାନେ a group of advisor is advisory board is called a council. So yes, I can speak in Hindi. I am comfortable in Hindi, but maximum students belongs to Odisha. That's why I am using that language. Okay. तो क्या बोले, कुछ लोग क्या बोले कि आपने क्या, आप काउंसिल ऑफ मिनिस्टर ले जाओ, काउंसिल ले जाओ। फ्रेश में कोई दिक्कत नहीं ना होगा, कोई दिक्कत नहीं, you can if anyone had admitted in two places they can drop out from one college and go to another college. Okay. But that he should have a council of wise men who would help him to fix the proper time for everything. And those council of minister, those advisory board, they should help the king to decide the beginning of right action or right time. Good evening, Roshan. Good evening. Okay. Next. But then again others said, और कुछ अलग लोग बोले, क्या बोले? There were some things which could not wait to be laid before a council of minister. Hello, Lisha, nice to see you there. So what happens? But then again others said there were some things which could not wait to be laid before council of minister. And some other wise men, they suggest the king that no, this is not possible. Some important works are there and that cannot be laid. The decision cannot be taken late. That's why there will be late. So you will ask the council of minister, thereafter you will take the decision. That's why the things that will get late. So in that case, it's not fair. So objection was there, which could not wait to be laid before. Laid कहले प्रस्ताव रखिबा, laid before जनक पाखरे प्रस्ताव रखिबा, laid before a council, but about which one had at once to decide whether to undertake them or not. तो सेही काम करा जीवना नहीं, सेटा संगे संग डिसीजन नेबा दरकार, तो सेही काम को अवहेला करा जाई पारिबो नहीं। यस, इमीडिएट, तुरंत, संगे संगे, इमीडिएट कहले संगे संगे। ओके, could not wait to be laid before a council, but about which one had at once to decide whether to undertake them or not. But in order to decide that, সেই কাম নিষ্পত্তি নবা পায়, in order to decide that one must know beforehand. ସେ କାମ ଆରମ୍ଭ ହେବା ପୂର୍ବରୁ ଜଣେ ଲୋକ ଜାଣିବା ଦରକାର। One must know beforehand. And what was going to happen? କ'ଣ ଘଟିବା ପାଇଁ ଯାଉଛି? What was going to happen? ଯଦି ଜଣେ ଲୋକ ଜାଣିପାରିବ କ'ଣ ଘଟିବା ପାଇଁ ଯାଉଛି, ତାହେଲେ କ'ଣ ହେବ? Yes, he will take immediate action. Yes or no? He will take immediate action. Happen. It is only magician who know that, and it is which type of people know that? It is only magician who knows that. And এই কথার উত্তর কেবল কে দেই পারিব? Magician. Only magician can give the answer to this question. जादूकर, अधा लोग बोले जादू वाला, अधा लोग कौन कहले? जादूगर को डका जाओ, जादू मैजिशियन मान को डका जाओ। What happen? It is only magician who know that, and therefore in order to know the right time for every action one must consult magician, and in order to know the right time And in order to know the right time or decide the right time, you must consult बोले विचार विमर्श करिवा. Consult means to talk with them, विचार विमर्श करना उनके साथ. So you must, the king must consult the magician in order to know the right time of beginning something. କୌଣସି ଜିନିଷ right time ରେ ଆରମ୍ଭ କରିବା ପାଇଁ ହେଲେ ରାଜାଙ୍କୁ କ'ଣ କରିବା ପାଇଁ ହେବ? Crazy gaming, God bless you. So he must consult the magician. He must consult the magician. से जादूकर मानकर परामर्श नेबा दरकार. Okay. Equally, এই ভଳିଆ ଭାବେ, equally समान भावे, various were the answer to the second question. This is the answer of, yes, I'm good, crazy, I'm good. Various were the answer to the second question. Various, विभिन्न. Issue कहले घटना. Incident. Issue means incident. Satya. Yeah, hello. So what happens? Equally various were the answer to the second question. Some said the people the king most needed were his counselor. The people the king most needed were his counselor. First question was what? What are the right time to begin something? Second question, which people the king should listen to. So in order to the answer of the second question, the people tell the council, the wise men who were gathered there to answer the king's question, they told that. So equally various were the answer to the second question. Some said the people the king must needed were the counselor. What did they tell? The most important people for the king were the counselor. कौन कहले? जे मंत्री माने ही राजा मानकर सबुठार खास लोक तांक कथा ही शुणवा दरकार. काउंसिलर, परिषदर लोक. अदर आउ दले लोक कौन कहले? द प्रीस्ट. ना 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 नो 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 नो, यू आर टेलिंग. So whom should you listen? You should listen to the priest. नहीं, धर्मगुरु माने सब जानी चुनते. धर्मगुरु माने को तुम पचारी बात दरकार. प्रीस्ट, धर्मचार्य का पुजारी माने मंदिर पुजारी. Others told, no, 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 no. How can you tell like this? No, the doctors are the more important person. अलगा लोगों माने कौन कहले? ना, doctor. Who is the most important person? Doctor. प्रथम लोगों कहले counselor. Second लोगों कहले the priest. Third people, the doctors. While some said the warriors and some other people, no, you are telling wrong. You three are wrong. What the others said? Warrior, W-A-R-R-I. Priest कहले पूजक, धर्मजाजक. So others said the warrior कहले योद्धा. Warrior कहले योद्धा. The other people told, yes, king needs the warrior. सैन्य दरकार. राजांगु कौन दरकार? सैन्य दरकार. Yes, the king needs soldier. King needs soldier. राजांगु सैन्य दरकार. अरे सैन्य नथिले, योद्धा नथिले, राजा गोटे कौन? राजा भले लगे नहीं. तो कौन दरकार? The king needs soldier. This is the answer of the second question. Let us see the answer of the third question. To the third question, yes, no problem. You can take admission. So all the answer to the third question, the answer of the third question as to what were the most important occupation, what are the most important occupation, and what is the most important work for the king to do. राजा को जिनस करिवा दरकार, को कम करिवा दरकार. Important occupation. Some people replied. किछि लोक कहिले. Some people replied. What did some people say? That the most important thing in the world was science. What did they tell? Occupation कहले वृत्ति. What is the most important thing for the people, king? What is the most important thing to do? What was that occupation? Some replies that the most important thing in the world was science. Yes, some people told the king that the most important thing necessary kale darkar in the world is what? Science. किछु लोग कहले विज्ञान. सबुठारु महान काम होची वैज्ञानिक उद्भावन एवं आविष्कार. The king should go for scientific invention, scientific action, scientific work only. He should consult the scientists. Okay, he should consult the scientists and ask them, and only to do scientific work. This is the right thing. This is the view of some people. Next, important question. Some replied that the most important thing in the world was science. Chapter name is 3 question. Yes, this is the chapter name. Some replied that the most important thing in the world was science. Others said it was skill in warfare, and some other people told. Some other people told the most important thing for the king was warfare. ଆଉ କିଛି ଲୋକ କହିଲେ नो 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 राजा जड़े योद्धा ହେବା ଦରକାର राजा जड़े योद्धा ହେବା ଦରକାର ଆଉ ଯୁଦ୍ଧରେ ହିଁ ସମୟ ସେ ଅତିବାହିତ କରିବା ଦରକାର राज्य जय କରିବା ଦରକାର ସେମିତି କହିଲେ କେମିତି ହେବ ଖାଲି ବିଜ୍ଞାନ ବିଜ୍ଞାନ ହେଲେ ତ ହେବ ନାହିଁ ନା ରାଜା ଯୁଦ୍ଧ ହେବା ଦରକାର ତାଙ୍କର ଗୋଟେ ସୈନ୍ୟବାହିନୀ ଭଲ ଥିବା ଦରକାର ସୈନ୍ୟବାହିନୀ ପାଇଁ ସେ ଟାଇମ୍ ଦେବା ଦରକାର who told yes some people was skill in warfare, and others again that it was religious worship. And some people were there, some wise people were there who were considering themselves, wise or so-called wise people. They told, no, 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 no. Warfare and science, nothing is there. Huh? Why are you telling such type of things? These are joking things. No, why should the king waste time doing warfare and other things? The most important thing for the king is what, according to them? Religious worship. Religious worship. राजा पूजा पाठ हरे सबु बेले व्यस्त रहिबा दरकार हरे कृष्ण हरे राम. What did they tell? Yes, religious means dharmika. So dharmika परंपरा हरे कृष्ण हरे राम ओंकार नाद करी करी से रहिबा दरकार बोली किए कहले अरे हाँ किए कहले वारफेयर कहले युद्ध कला युद्ध युद्ध वारफेयर कहले युद्ध ठीक अछि. So again that it was religious worship. Good evening. All the answer being different, समस्तंकर प्रश्नर उत्तर अलगा अलगा हैला. All the answer being different, समस्तंकर answer अलगा अलगा हैला. All the questions were different. The king agreed with some of them, and the king agreed with none of them. राजा कहा कथारे भी राजी हेले नहीं कारण समस्तंकर प्रश्नर उत्तर अलगा अलगा थिला. That's why he didn't agree with anybody. कहा सहित भी राजी हेले नहीं. And gave the reward to none. कहा को प्राइज देले नहीं उपहार कहा को देले नहीं. Gave the reward to none. So here is a question. Why did the king not rewarded the wise people? Okay, write down your answer. Why did the king not rewarded any people, any wise people? What are the first question? Good evening, Om. Good evening. What are the second question and what are the third question? This is the 4 question you have to drop me. Okay. Reward to none, but still wishing to find the right answer to his question and still wishing. Thank you. Answer to his question, he decided to consult a hermit. Second question, the council is okay, no problem. So what happens? Gave the reward to none, but still wishing well, इच्छा करिबा, still wishing the right answer to his question. वर्तमान भी से आशा करुले जे से तांकर प्रश्नर ठीक उत्तर. warfare युद्ध कौशल. Yes, warfare means युद्ध कौशल. You are correct. And gave the reward to none, but still wishing to find the right answer. तथापि राजा से पर्यंत भावुले जे मते ठीक उत्तर मिलिबो. So what he did, he decided to consult, विचार विमर्श करिबा. Consult, CONSULT, consult a hermit. Hermit कहले जने साधु. Hermit कहले sage like people, or you can say godly people. Hermit means साधु. Hermit widely renowned कहले विख्यात प्रसिद्ध. RENOWNED. Renowned means प्रख्यात, or you can say प्रसिद्ध for his wisdom. Wisdom means ज्ञान. Wisdom कहले ज्ञान. Hermit means sadhu. Okay. So what do you think? I'll close the class or I'll continue the next unit 2. Unit 2 will continue Unit 2 will be, will continue or will close the class? Will continue or will close the class? Tell me. I'll continue or close the class. What do you think? What is your opinion? I'll continue or close the class? I want some comments whether I'll continue or, first unit is completed. So I'll continue the second unit. What do you think? What is your opinion? Continue. Okay. So the hermit, unit 2. Manas, good evening. Unit 2, let us see the unit 2. Okay, continue. Very good. Where the right people, okay, correct, Bhavi Parmani. So the hermit lived in a wood which he never quitted. The hermit lived in a wood which he never quitted. ସାଧୁ ଜଙ୍ଗଲ ରହୁଥିଲେ, ପାଖରେ ଥିବା ଗୋଟେ ଜଙ୍ଗଲ ରହୁଥିଲେ ଯାହାକୁ ସେ କେବେ ବି ମାନେ ସେ ଜଙ୍ଗଲରୁ ବାହାରକୁ ଯାଉନଥିଲେ। ଉଡ୍ କହିଲେ ଗୋଟେ ବୁଦବୁଦ ଗାଳ। ଓକେ କଣ୍ଟିନ୍ୟୁ। hermit lived in a wood which he never quitted କହିଲେ ଛାଡ଼ିବା, ଛାଡ଼ିକି ବାହାରକୁ ଯିବା, quitted. And he received none but common folk. ଆଉ ସେ ସାଧାରଣ ଲୋକଙ୍କ ସହିତ ଦେଖା କରୁନଥିଲେ, ରିସିଭ୍ ନନ୍, ଅନ୍ୟ କାହା ସହିତ ଦେଖା କରୁନଥିଲେ, କେବଳ ସାଧାରଣ ଲୋକମାନଙ୍କୁ ଦେଖା କରୁଥିଲେ। କିଏ? The hermit. He was just meeting, he is just meeting the people, the common people, never quitted. And he received none, folk କହିଲେ ଲୋକ, folk କହିଲେ ଲୋକ, ସାଧାରଣ ଲୋକ, received none but common folk. So the king put on simple clothes. Put on is your phrasal verb. Put on କହିଲେ ପିନ୍ଧିବା, put on simple clothes, ସାଧାରଣ ଲୁଗା ପିନ୍ଧିଲେ, ସାଧାରଣ ଲୋକଙ୍କର ଡ୍ରେସ୍ ପିନ୍ଧିଲେ। କିଏ? The king put on simple clothes. Okay. And what happens? And before reaching the hermit's cell, dismounted from his horse. Disguised କହିଲେ ଅଦୃଶ୍ୟ ଭାବେ, ଛଦ୍ମ ବେଶରେ। disguised କହିଲେ ଛଦ୍ମ ବେଶରେ, ମାନେ ଅଲଗା ବେଶରେ, ତମର ନର୍ମାଲ ବେଶ ଛାଡ଼ିକି ଅଲଗା ବେଶରେ ଯିବାଟା, that is called disguised, ଅଦୃଶ୍ୟ ଭାବେ ଅଲଗା ବେଶରେ। Okay. So simple clothes, and before reaching the hermit's cell, dismounted ଓହ୍ଲେଇ ପଡ଼ିବା। dismounted କହିଲେ ଓହ୍ଲେଇ ପଡ଼ିବା। କୋଉଠୁ ଓହ୍ଲେଇ ପଡ଼ିବା? ଘୋଡ଼ା ଉପରୁ ଓହ୍ଲେଇ, dismounted from the horse। ଟିକିଏ ଆଗରୁ ହର୍ମିଟ୍ଙ୍କର ସେଲ୍, କୁଡ଼ିଆର ଟିକିଏ ଆଗରୁ ସେ ଓହ୍ଲେଇ ପଡ଼ିଲେ। Okay, I'm continuing. Yes or no? Dismounted from his horse and leaving his bodyguard behind went alone. Leaving his bodyguard behind, ତାଙ୍କର bodyguard ମାନଙ୍କୁ ସେ ଛାଡ଼ିଦେଲେ କୋଉଠି? ପଛପଟେ। And what he did? Went on alone. ଏକଲା ଚାଲି ଗଲେ କୋଉଠିକି? ହର୍ମିଟ୍ଙ୍କ ପାଖକୁ। ସେ ହର୍ମିଟ୍ଙ୍କ ପାଖକୁ ଏକଲା ଚାଲି ଗଲେ। କିଏ? The king. When the king approached, ଯେତେବେଳେ ସେ ଯାଉଥିଲେ, towards whom? Towards the hermit. When the king approached, ରାଜା ଯେତେବେଳେ ଯାଉଥିଲେ, approached, the hermit was digging the ground in front of his hut. hut କହିଲେ ଝାଟି ମାଟିର କୁଡ଼ିଆ, ମାଟି ଆଉ କାଠରେ ତିଆରି, ଛୋଟ ଛୋଟ କାଠରେ ତିଆରି ହେଇଥିବା କୁଡ଼ିଆକୁ hut କୁହାଯାଏ, ଘରକୁ hut କୁହାଯାଏ। So what was the hermit doing when the king came? The hermit was digging କହିଲେ ମାଟି ଖୋଳିବା, ମାଟି ତାଡ଼ିବା। So when the king approached, ଯେତେବେଳେ ସେ ଗଲେ, ସେଠିକି ଗଲେ, approached କହିଲେ ଆଗେଇବା, ଯାଉଥିଲେ, approached, the hermit was digging the ground, ମାଟି ତାଡ଼ୁଥିଲେ। Okay, the hermit was digging the ground in front of his hut. approach କହିଲେ ଆଗେଇବା, ଯିବା, approach କହିଲେ ଆଗେଇବା, ଯିବା। So what happens? Ground in front of his hut, ତାଙ୍କ କୁଡ଼ିଆ ସାମନାରେ। I was also feel same word. What you was telling? What are you telling? I didn't get, Satya. You can repeat your question. So the ground in front of his hut, ତାଙ୍କର କୁଡ଼ିଆ ସାମନାରେ ସେ ମାଟି ଖୋଳୁଥିଲେ, ମାଟି ତାଡ଼ୁଥିଲେ ସେ। Seeing the king, राजा को देखी कटेज कटेज कुड़िया कटेज कहले कुड़िया कटेज and hut are synonyms. The king, he greeted him, went and digging, and he greeted, after he see the king, he greeted, hi, how are you? That's all. Okay. Went and digging, से राजा प्रति ध्यान दे नाहंती से तंकर काम जारी रखिचंती किए द किंग. द hermit was frail, FRAIL, frail कहले पतला, frail frail कहले पतला कहले कौन digging the ground in front of his hut. Okay. The hermit was frail and weak. Frail कहले पतला, weak कहले दुर्बल. So the hermit was frail and weak. पतला एवं दुर्बल थिले. से तांगर स्वास्थ्य अवस्था भल नथिले, से पतला थिले, पतला दुबला पतला थे. No problem. So seeing the king, he greeted him and went on digging. The hermit was frail and weak, and each time he struck his spade. Spade कहले कोदाଳ. Spade कहले कोदाଳ. Engrossed, cover करिबा, engrossed. So and each time he struck his spade into the ground. Struck कहले मारिबा, struck कहले मारिबा. से जेते बेले भी कोदाळ पकोथिले, माटी ताडुथिले, what was happening there? Let us see. Turned a little earth, a little, पिले little आउ a little. तुम जानी दिवो, these are what? These are determiners. Yes or no? You can say they can be used as adjective too. Normally they are determiners. So the hermit was frail and weak, and each time he struck his spade into the ground, turned a little earth. Turned a little earth. टिकिए माटी बारुतला. तो बड़ो लोगो धरिक पकोतले टिकिए माटी बारुतला. He breathed heavily. Breathe. BREATH. याको समझते breath, breath, breath बोली कहते. This is exactly the pronunciation is breathe. So breathe कहले निश्वास नवा, धौंस नवा. ठीक है जी, breathe. To inhale and exhale. This is called breathing. Breathe heavily. से तंगर बने निश्वास. Wood. Yes, wood कहले forest बेटा. Yes, wood means forest. You are correct. Forest and wood have little different. Okay. Breathe heavily. The king went up to him and said. The king went up to him and said. राजा तांको पाखकु गले, काहाकु साधु पाखकु गले, and said एवं कहले, good evening बलराम. And said, what did he say? I have come to you. मु आपणଙ୍କ पाखकु आसीछि. I have come to you. Wise hermit, हे महामहिम ऋषि, हे महामहिम ऋषि, ऋषि वर, मु आपणଙ୍କ पाखकु आसीछि. I have come to you, wise hermit, to ask you to answer three questions. To ask you to answer three questions. तीनिटा प्रश्न उत्तर पाई मु आपणଙ୍କ पाखकु आसी. I have come to get the answer of three questions. तीनिटा प्रश्न उत्तर पाई मु आपणଙ୍କ पाखकु आसी. Okay. How can I learn to do the right thing? First question, how can I learn to do the right thing? This is the first question. This is my first question. How can I learn to do the first question? Right thing. Mu सबु जिनस केमती right time रे करिमे. Second, who are the people I must need and who are the people I must need? को मान का कथा मु सुनिबी, को मान का कथा मु सुनिबी. And to whom should I, therefore, and to whom should I therefore pay more attention than to the rest? ଆଉ को लोक मान को बेसी important देबे, को लोक मान को बेसी important देबे. And what appears, क्यों काम, what appears are the most important. को काम मो पई सबुठारु important. What appears are the most important and need my first attention, and that work need my first attention. ଆଉ सेई काम को कामटा मु प्रथमे करिबा दरकार, को कामटा मु शेषरे करिबा दरकार. ए प्रश्नर उत्तर मते दरकार. Who asked? The king asked. To whom? To the hermit. What did he ask? That he had come to know, come to fulfill his query about three questions. What is the right time to do anything, and who are the right people he should listen to, and the last question is what is the right work for him to do. These are the three questions, and he came to spade बोले कोदाଳ. Spade कहले कोदाଳ. Spade means axe. You are correct. Axe कहले टांगिया, but spade कहले आमर जो फावड़ा सब व्यवहार करछे माटी ताड़ीबा पे. First attention, the hermit listened to the king. The hermit listened to the king. ऋषि राजाଙ୍କ କଥା ଶୁଣିଲେ. The hermit listened to the king but answered nothing. But answered nothing. କୌଣସି ଉତ୍ତର ଦେଲେ ନାହିଁ. He just spat on his hand. Spat. ଛେପ ପକେଇବା. Spat. Spat କହିଲେ ଛେପ ପକେଇବା. Spat on his hand. ହାତରେ ଛେପ ପକେଇ ଦେଲେ. ओके माने हाथ स्लिप कले स्किड कला बेले कौन हुए आम छेप पकई दो माने हाथ ये टिके स्टिकी लगी जीव बोले कि स्पेट ऑन हिज हैंड एंड रिकमेंस्ड आरंभ करवा रिकमेंस पुणी थे आरंभ करवा रिकमेंस्ड डिगिंग खोलिबा पुणी थे से आरंभ कले किए द किंग स्टार्टेड डिगिंग ओह यू आर टायर्ड You are tired, said the king. राजा कहले हे महात्मा आपण क्लांत श्रांत क्लांत हो जाइछन्ती. You are tired, said the king. Let me take the spade and work a well for you. Let me take the spade and work a well for you. मते आपन कोदाल दियंतु आ कि समय काम करबा पई दियंतु. के कहले who said? The king said. Why did the king say so? Because he saw the hermit was breathing heavily and just digging a little, mud with each stalk of spade. Thanks, said the hermit. Thanks, said the hermit. साधु कौन कहले धन्यवाद कह कि से बढ़ी देले. And giving the spade to the king, कोदालटा बढ़ी देले काहाकू राजांकू. He sat down on the ground. He sat down on the ground. से भूमि पर बसी पड़िले. सेट डाउन ऑन द ग्राउंड. When I dug two beds, when he had dug two beds, दुईटा बेड माने दुईटा चौड़ा बेड खोली सारिला परे डग करी पर सारिला परे the king stopped and repeated his question. The king stopped. राजा अटकी गले and repeated his question. तांगर प्रश्न को से रिपीट कले. He repeated his question. The hermit again gave no answer, but the hermit was neutral. If he had listened nothing, he was neutral, just neutral, was neutral. The hermit was neutral. Okay, answer. But rose, से उठी पड़िले. Rose, rise, rose region. Rose, उठी पड़िले. बचे बजा करो. Stretched out his hand for the spade. Stretched out his hand. मते दियो कहिले कौन कोदाଳ. Stretched out his hand. Stretched out. हाथ बढ़ाइबा. Stretched out his hands for the spade and said, now rest a while. Rest a while. A while कहले किछि समय. Rest a while. आपण किछि समय विश्राम नियंतु. You just take rest a while. And let me walk a bit. Bit कहले किछि. Let me walk a bit. किछि समय मते काम करिबा पई दियो. Who said? The hermit said. To whom? To the king. What did the hermit say? That you are tired. Give me the spade. Let me walk a bit. But the king didn't give him the spade. किंतु राजा कोदाଳ तांकु देले नाही. And continued to dig. एवं काम करिबा से माने चालू रखिले. 1 hour passed. गोटे घंटा बीती गला. 1 hour passed. And another आ गोटे घंटा बीती गला. The sun began to sink behind the trees. The sun began to sink. Sink कहले बुड़ीबा. माने सूर्य अस्त हेबा. बुड़ीबा पानी रे बुड़ीबा नहीं पिले. Yes, I'm not telling sinking in the water, sinking. Okay. The sun began to sink behind the trees. गछर छाई रे सूर्य हजि जीवा उपरे संध्या आगमनर समय हे गला. And the king at last stuck the spade into the ground and said, the king stuck the spade. धरी की फिंगी देले. What do you think of yourself? I just wanted to tell कहिबा पई चाहुतिले. Okay, spade into the ground and said, एवं से कहले कौन कहले, I came to you. मु आपण के पाखु को आस्तिले. I came to you, wise man, for an answer to my question. What did I come to you? I have also lots of work to do at my end, but I came to you in the hope that I may, get some, answer of my question. But you didn't answer me, Mr. Wise man. Who told? The king told, approaching Agaiva. For an answer to my question, if you can keep me known, and if you can keep me known, जदि तुम दे परिबो नाही, जदि मोर प्रश्नर उत्तर तुम दे परिबो नाही, if you can give me known, tell me so, ମୋତେ କହିଦିଅ, ଟେଲ୍ ମି ସୋ ଆଣ୍ଡ ଆଇଲ୍ ରିଟର୍ନ, ମୁଁ ଫେରିଯିବି। କିଏ କହିଲା? ରାଜା। କାହାକୁ? ଟୁ ଦ hermit. Here comes someone running, said the hermit. Let us see who it is. And at once, all of a sudden, the hermit started saying, here comes someone, look, someone is coming. Here comes someone. Okay? Let us see who is it, who it is. Let us see who it is. चलो देखिबा सेटा किए आउछि। The king turned round. राजा पछुकु चाहिले। The king turned round. पछुकु चाहिबा, turned round. And saw a bearded man. गोटे दाढ़िया लोको, a bearded man. What was he doing? Man come running out of the wood. से जंगल आड़ू से बुदु बुदु क्या से जंगल आड़ू चाली आउतला तांको आड़ू को दौड़ी दौड़ी आउतला। The man held his hands pressed against his stomach, held his hand pressed his stomach. पेटू को चापी की धरी चिके। The bearded man से दाढ़िया लोको पेटू को चापी के hand pressed against his stomach, and blood was flowing from under them, and blood was flowing from under them. तार से तळु ता हाथ तळुरु रक्त सब बही जाउची, भस भस से की बही जाउची, मिंचा मिंचा रक्त सब। स्टमक कहले पेट, पेटर सब रक्त बही जाउची। And when he reached the king, जेते बेले से राजा पाखरे पहुंचला, when he reached the king, he fell fainting on the ground. Faint, बेहोश हो जीवा, unconscious हो जीवा। faint कहले unconscious हो जीवा। He fell fainting on the ground. से ground रे अचेत है की पड़ी गला, unconscious है की पड़ी गला। fainting on the ground, faint कहले अचेत। Moaning feebly, moan करिबा, गुण शब्द। This is called moaning. Moaning feebly can weakly. Feebly means weakly. Moan करिबा माने गुण करि कहिबा, धीरे स्वर रे कहिबा। Moaning. Yes, this is called moaning. Moaning feebly कहले weakly. Moaning feebly. The king and the hermit unfastened the men's clothing. Unfastened खोलिबा, unfastened कहले खोलिबा। Unfastened the men's clothing. से लोकोटार लुगा, clothing कहले लुगा, तार लुगा सब खोली देले। कारण लुगा खोलले ही तार क्षतटा को से चिकित्सा करि परिबे। That's why they unfastened कहले खोली देले। Unfastened the clothes of the men. Yes or no? Unfastened the men's clothing. There was a large wound. wound कहले क्षत। हला wound कहले गुले बुले, WOUND, you know, यार दुईटा pronunciation, गोटे वाला wound और गोटे वाला wound कहले बुले बुले हवा, wound कहले क्षत। So wound. Oh, ground, okay. It was a large wound in his stomach. तार पेट रे गोटे बड़ क्षत थिला। The king washed it as best he could. The king washed it. राजा कण कले ताकू धोई देले। से जेमती भाव रे जानुथिले सेमती भाव रे सुंदर भाव रे धोई देले। Good. And bandaged it with his handkerchief. तांकर रुमाल रे ताकू बैंडेज करि देले, सफा करी की बैंडेज करि देले। Then what happens? With his handkerchief and with a towel the hermit had, एवं ऋषिंक पाखरे थिबा गोटे गामुछा एवं तांकर रुमाल साहाय्य रे ताकू बंधा बंधी करि देले। But the blood would not stop flowing. किंतु रक्त बहिबा बंद हेउ नथिला। It was not getting close. That's why they were confused what to do and what not to do. And the two people, they were exactly, feeling nervous that whether we will be able to save that particular pen or not, what to do and what not to do. They were confused. So in this case, what happens? With his handkerchief and with a towel, the hermit had. But the blood would not stop, flowing. किंतु रक्त बहिबा बंद हो नथिला। And the king again and again removed the bandage. राजा कौन करूथिले? The king again and again removed the bandage. बारंबार से बैंडेज टाकू खोलुथिले। बारंबार रक्त रे भिजौतला से रक्त रे बैंडेज खोली दोथिले। रक्त रे भिजौतला से बैंडेज टा खोली दो, रिमूव करूथिले। Soaked with warm blood. आउ से बैंडेज सोक हे जाइतिला, रक्त भिजा। सोक्ड कहले भिजी जीवा। Soaked with warm blood, गरम ब्लड रे से बैंडेज टा ओदा ही जाउतला। Soaked with warm blood, okay, and washed and rebandaged the wound. से धोई दउथिले और पुनी थरे बैंडेज करि दउथिले। धोई दउथिले पुनी थरे बैंडेज करि दउथिले। And when at last the blood ceased कहले बंद हवा, stop. when at last the blood ceased flowing, ଯେତେବେଳେ ରକ୍ତ ବନ୍ଦ ହେଲା, ceased flowing, the man revived, ଚେତା ଫେରି ପାଇବା, conscious ହେବା, again getting consciousness. When the man revived and asked for something to drink, କିଛି ପାଣି 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 ମାଗୁଥିଲା, ପାଣି ମାଗୁଥିଲା କିଏ? The bearded man. Something, the king brought fresh water and gave it to him. Fresh water. ऋषि मानकर repeat the stanza. The king again and again removed the bandage soaked with warm blood and washed and rebandaged the wound. Again माने repeatedly ताको धोउथिले, से बैंडेज रक्त रे भिजाउतला, ताक फिंगी दउथिले, पुणी थरे से बैंडेज करूथिले. Still the blood stopped flowing. ଯେତେବେଳେ ପର୍ଯ୍ୟନ୍ତ ସେ ରକ୍ତ ବୋହିବାଟା ବନ୍ଦ ନ ହେଲା, ସେ ପର୍ଯ୍ୟନ୍ତ ସେ କାମ କରୁଥିଲେ. Okay. Blood ceased flowing. The man revived and thus asked for something to drink. By the way, धीरे धीरे कौन हैला, ब्लड बंद हो गला, और जितेबाला ब्लड बंद है, तार रक्त बोहिबा बंद है, से लोक चेता पाइला, रिवाइव कला, चेता पाइला और किसी पीवा पाई मागिला. The king brought fresh water, स्वच्छ झरणा पानी पाखरे थिवा झरणार पानी आनी कि ताको देले, gave it to him. Meanwhile, wounded man, with the hermit self, meanwhile the sun had set. और यही समय कहितला, meanwhile the sun had set. सूर्य अस्त हो जाइथिला. It was semi darkness. Okay. And it had become cool, ठंडा लागुथला बाहर. It was become cool. So the king, तेणु राजा, with the hermit self, ऋषिंग साहाଯ୍य रे, carried the wounded man into the hut. से क्षताक्त मनुष्यटाकू, से दाढ़िया मनुष्यटाकू दुई जन मिसिकरी राजा ऋषि सहित ताकू बोही नेले कोठिकी ऋषिंग कुड़िया को. Okay, into hut and laid him on the bed, laid him in bed, ताकू सोई देले. Lying on the bed, the man closed his eyes and was quiet. Lying on the bed, the man closed his eyes and quiet. आखि बंद करी देला, बेड रे पड़िला संगे संगे एवं से शांत हो गला, सोई पड़िला. That he crouched, okay, but the king was so tired. राजा बहुत क्लांत हो जाइतिले. Was so tired with his work and with the work he had done. राजा केबे काम करंती नै ना, तो राजा सेदिन काम करिके से बहुत टायर्ड हो जाइतिले. माने से चाली कि सेडी गाइथिले, से जंगल पहाड़ ऊपर को चढ़ी के आउ से माने माटी धरी के कोदाल धरी के से जो हानी दिले, सेतरा पूरा टायर्ड हो जाइतिले, से भी सोई पड़िले. Then what he did? So tired with his work, with the work he had done, that he crouched down on the threshold. Crouched down. Crouched कहले जाकी जुकी है कि सोईबा. Crouch. The cat is crouching under the sofa. Crouch. बिलेई जमती जाकी जुकी है कि से जाकी जुकी है कि गड़ी पड़िले कोठी थ्रेशोल्ड से गालीचा ऊपर से जो ऋषिंकर माने घास गालीचा थिला घरगणार जो घास फास पकई दिले पाळ पकई दिले से ऊपर से सोई पड़िले. थ्रेशोल्ड कहले डोर स्टेप, अगणा रे डोर स्टेप. थ्रेशोल्ड and also fall asleep. एवं से सोई पड़िले and also fall asleep. So soundly that he slept all through the short summer night. Who slept? The king slept. So soundly, एते सक्त माने एते गभीर निद हैला तांको. So soundly that he slept all through the short summer night. और राति सारा से सोई पड़िले. से खरा दिन राति थिला और से राति सारा सोई पड़िले. When he woke in the morning, जेते बेले से सकाळे उठिले, when he woke in the morning, it was long before he could remember where he was. It was long before he could remember where he was. बहुत समय लागिला तांको मने पकेवा पाई से केउठी अछंती कागु राजांको. It took some time for him to remember where he is, what he is doing there, where is his place, etc. He was just confused. How did I come here? Who was confused? The king was confused where he was. Or who was the strange but man lying on the bed and gazing intently at him with shining eyes? And that man, was that man who was just sleeping on bed? I don't know him. He was just confused. Se lokota kiye je soichi se dadi thiba loko କ୍ଷତକ୍ତା ଲୋକଟା ମୁଁ କୋଉଠି ଅଛି ସେ ଲୋକ ମୋତେ କାହିଁକି ଦେଖୁଛି? Because that bearded man was just gazing, gaze means watch, constantly, ନିରନ୍ତର ଭାବେ ଦେଖିବା, He was constantly at whom? At the king. से राजा को निरंतर भावे देखुला किए that buried man. Okay? Was a strange buried man lying on the bed and gazing intently at him with shining eyes. ज्वलंत आँखी बड़ा बड़ा करी किसी देखुला काहाको देखुला राजा को देखुला. Okay, eyes. Forgive me, said the buried man. The buried man prayed the king. राजा जितेबेले आँखी खोलिले से प्रार्थना कला मते क्षमा करी दियो. Forgive me, who said? The buried man said, forgive me. मते क्षमा करी दियो. In a weak voice, दुर्बल स्वररे से कहला. In a weak voice, when he saw the king was awake and was looking at him, and when he saw the king was awake and looking at him. ଯେତେବେଳେ ସେ ଦେଖିଲା ରାଜା ଉଠି ପଡ଼ିଲେଣି ଆଉ ତା ଆଡ଼େ ଦେଖୁଛନ୍ତି ସେ କ'ଣ କହିଲା ଫରଗିଭ୍ ମି ମାଇ ଲର୍ଡ଼ ପ୍ଲିଜ୍ ଫରଗିଭ୍ ମି. ଦ କିଙ୍ଗ ୱାଜ୍ ସକ୍ଡ. ରାଜା ଆଶ୍ଚର୍ଯ୍ୟ ହେଇଗଲେ. ଆଇ ଡୋଣ୍ଟ ନୋ ୟୁ, ଆଇ ଡୋଣ୍ଟ ନୋ ୟୁ. ଦ କିଙ୍ଗ ସେଡ୍ ଆଇ ଡୋଣ୍ଟ ନୋ ୟୁ. ମୁଁ ତୁମକୁ ଜାଣି ନାହିଁ ଆଣ୍ଡ ଆଇ ଏମ୍ ନଥିଙ୍ଗ ଟୁ ଫରଗିଭ୍ ୟୁ ଫର୍. ତୁମକୁ କ୍ଷମା କରିବାର ପ୍ରଶ୍ନ ହିଁ ଉଠୁନି. ଆରେ ମୁଁ କିଛି କରିନି. ୟୁ ହାଭ୍ ନଟ୍ ଡନ୍ ଏନିଥିଙ୍ଗ ଟୁ ମି. ହ୍ୱାଇ ସୁଡ୍ ଆଇ ଫରଗିଭ୍ ୟୁ? ମୁଁ କାହିଁକି ତୁମକୁ କ୍ଷମା କରିବି? ସେଡ୍ ଦ କିଙ୍ଗ. You do not know me, the buried man said. You do not know me. तमे मते जानी ना हो. You do not know me, but I know you. किंतु मु तुमको जानी ची, but I know you. मु तुमको जानी ची. I am that enemy of yours. मु आपनकर सही शत्रु. What he say? I am that enemy of yours. मु आपनकर सही शत्रु. Who swore to revenge himself on you. Who swore. Swore कहले प्रतिज्ञा. Swear. स्वर 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 कहले प्रतिज्ञा. जे प्रतिज्ञा करिथिला हु स्वर टू रिवेंज हिमसेल्फ ऑन यू. मु आपणक ठारू प्रतिशोध नेबी बोली प्रतिज्ञा करथिली. रिवेंज कहले प्रतिशोध. यस मु तम आपणक ठारू प्रतिशोध नेबी बोली प्रतिज्ञा करथिली. बिकॉज यू एक्जिक्यूटेड हिज ब्रदर. कारण तमे मोर भाई को एक्जिक्यूट करिथिलो, दंड देथिलो. एक्जिक्यूट कहले दंड देबा. Because you executed my brother, his brother, and seized his property, and seized his property. हैं? अब कौन कर थिला? Property सब नहीं है. Crouch down. Crouch down means बेटा to just जाकी जुकी हवा. Crouch down means जाकी जुकी हवा. Seized his property. एवं तार सब संपत्ति तमें छड़े नहीं थिलो. You have seized all the property. I knew you had gone alone to see the hermit. एवं मु जानी थिली, मु तुम्हार खबर रखुतली. मते मोर पाखे खबर थिला that you had gone alone to the hermit. तमे ऋषि को पाखु को एकला जाउछ बोली मु जानी थिली. I knew. हैं? And I decided. मु निष्पत्ति नेली. मु सेतबेले निष्पत्ति नेली. मु जेतबेले जानिली तमे एका जाइछ बोली I decided what? To kill you on your way back. To kill you on your way back. जे मु आपण फेरिला बेले आपण मु हत्या करबी, मु मारी देबी बोली कोन कली मु प्रतिज्ञा कली. मु निष्पत्ति नै थिले. Way back, but the day passed and you didn't return. But the day passed, किंतु दिनटा सरीगला. And you didn't return. आपण फेरिले नाही. You did not return. Okay? So I came out from my ambush. Ambush कहले AMBUSH. Ambush कहले लुचि थिबा जगह. Thank you. So what happens? On your way back, but the day passed and you didn't return. And the day passed and you didn't return. तम फेरिलो नाही दिनटा बितिगला. So I came out from my ambush. मोर लुचि थिबा जगह बाहरली ambush to find you. आपनको पाइबा पाए, आपनको खोजिबा पाए. And I came upon your bodyguard. Came upon सामना सामने हेवा. आपनकर bodyguard माने मते देखि नेले. Came upon your bodyguard. Okay? And they recognized me. से माने मते चिन्हि गले. Recognize चिनिवा. They recognized me and wounded me. से माने मते स्टॉप करतेले मारी देले. तमारे आघात प्राप्त हइले मो. Wounded. I wish to kill you. मो आपनको मारिबा पाई चाहुथले. I wish to kill you. But and you have saved my life. किंतु आपण मोर जीवन बंचेले. You have saved my life. Now if I live, वर्तमान मु जदि बंचे, if I live, and if you wish it, और जदि आपण चाहते, if it's your wish, I will serve you as your most faithful slave. I'll serve you as your most faithful slave. ମୁଁ ଆପଣଙ୍କର କ୍ରୀତଦାସ ଭାବେ ଅତ୍ୟନ୍ତ ବିଶ୍ୱାସୀ ଫେଥଫୁଲ୍ କହିଲେ ବିଶ୍ୱାସୀ ବିଶ୍ୱାସୀ କ୍ରୀତଦାସ ଭାବେ ଆପଣଙ୍କର ସେବା କରିବା ପାଇଁ ପ୍ରସ୍ତୁତ ଯଦି ଆପଣ ମୋତେ ଅନୁମତି ଦେବେ ଆଇ ୱିଲ୍ ସର୍ଭ ୟୁ ଆଜ୍ ୟୋର୍ ମୋଷ୍ଟ ଇମ୍ପୋର୍ଟାଣ୍ଟ ସ୍ଲେଭ୍ The king was very glad. राजा बहुत खुशी है गया. The king was very glad to have made peace with his enemy so easily. To have made peace with his enemy so easily. कारण तांको शत्रु को से मित्र रूप में पाई सारी से बहुत खुशी है गए. And to have gained him for a friend. और ताको मित्र भाव में पाई थे वो से बहुत खुशी है गए. And he not only forgave him. से केवल खुशी है सेमते ना है. Not only forgave him, but said he would send his servants. The king said that he would say, send all his servants. ତାଙ୍କର ସମସ୍ତ ଚାକର ତାଙ୍କ ପାଖକୁ ପଠାଇବେ and own physician ଏବଂ ନିଜ ଡାକ୍ତର ଯିବ କାହା ପାଖକୁ to the buried man. Who said these words? These are the words of the king and promised to restore his property and he also promised ସେ ପ୍ରତିଜ୍ଞା କଲେ ଯେ ମୁଁ ତମର ସବୁ ପ୍ରପର୍ଟି ସବୁ ଧନ ସମ୍ପତ୍ତି ଫେରେଇ ଦେବି. So this is what the unit 2. So shall we complete? What do you think? Shall we complete the poem or I'll close? Okay, let us complete the poem. Having taken leave of the wounded man, having taken leave of the wounded man, সেই ক্ষতাক্ত লোকঠারু ছুটি নেই সারিলা পরে তার সহিত কথা হই সারিলা পরে the king went out into the porch. The king went out into the porch. অগণাকু গলে সে অগণাকু গলে কোটি গলে went out into the porch. অগণারে কিଏ ଥିଲା hermit and looked around for the hermit. ସେ ଋଷିଙ୍କୁ ଖୋଜିଲେ କାହାକୁ ଖୋଜିଲେ ଋଷିଙ୍କୁ ଖୋଜିଲେ looked around ଖୋଜିବା looked around phrasal verb ମନେ ରଖିବା looked around ଖୋଜିଲେ for the hermit before going away. ସେ ଯିବା ପୂର୍ବରୁ ସେ ତାଙ୍କର ରାଜ୍ୟକୁ ଯିବେ ନା ଯିବା ପୂର୍ବରୁ going away he wished once more. ସେ ଆଉ ଥରେ ଚାହୁଁଥିଲେ ଇଚ୍ଛା କରୁଥିଲେ to beg an answer to the question he had put and to beg an answer to the question he had put. ସେ କରିଥିବା ପ୍ରଶ୍ନର ଉତ୍ତର ଜାଣିବା ପାଇଁ ସେ ଆଉ ଥରେ ପ୍ରଶ୍ନ କରିବା ପାଇଁ ଚାହୁଁଥିଲେ. The hermit was outside. ରାଜା ଋଷି କୁଡ଼ିଆ ବାହାରେ ଥିଲେ କୋଉଠି ଥିଲେ where was the hermit? The hermit was outside. Okay, on his knees and he was on his knees. से आंठेई बसथिले sowing seeds. seed कहले मंजी sowing कहले बुनिवा से मंजी बुनुथिले sowing seeds in the beds. से जो बेड सब तैयारी हेतिला सब पटाली सब बेड कहले पटाली पिले पटाली बेड कहले से पटाली रे सब मंजी बुनुथिले beds that had been dug the day before yesterday गतकाली जो माटी सब तोड़ा होता खोला होता से माटी उपर से मंजी बुणुले. The king approached him and said तांको पाखक गले approach तांको पाखक गले and said कहले कौन कहले what did the king say? For the last time शेष समय पाए for the last time. Okay, I pray you to answer my questions. I pray you to answer my question. Please answer me, my dear hermit, with utmost request. I'm praying you, please answer me. Please answer my questions. I need those answers because I don't want to fail in my life. Please help me. Who said? The king said. To whom? To the hermit. Wise man, you have already been answered. The hermit said, you have already been answered. अरे तुम उत्तर पाई सारी छो क्या कहला? The hermit said. To whom? To the king. You have already been answered, said the hermit, still crouching on his, thin legs. से पर्यंत से जाकी जुकी हेकरी अंठू माने अंठू भांगी की का जाकी जुकी हेकी बस की से बनोतिले crouching on his legs and looking up at the king. राजा को देखी कि से कहले looking up at the king who stood before him. जे कि तांका सामना रे ठिया हेतिले before mean in front of जे कि तांका सामना रे ठिया हेतिले तांको से कहले. How answered? What do you mean? Asked the king. The king was a little angry. How answered? What do you mean? Huh? I'm not a fool that you will tell like this and I'll tell. Yes, I've been answered. How can you tell like this? When did you answer me? From that day, I'm asking you, and you are just, lingering the process. If you don't know the answer, then tell me. I'll go away. How can you tell like this? How can you be a liar? Dear hermit, who told? He କହିଲା, ରାଜା କହିଲେ କାହାକୁ? ହର୍ମିଟ୍। What do you mean? ଆପଣ କ'ଣ କହିବା ପାଇଁ ଚାହାନ୍ତୁ? ଉତ୍ତର କେତେବେଳେ ଦେଲେ? କିପରି ଦେଲେ? କିଏ କହିଲା? ରାଜା କହିଲେ। Do you not see? The hermit replied in calm voice. Do you not see? तुमको देखा जाऊनी? Do you not see? Replied the hermit. If you had not pitied my weakness yesterday, if you had not pitied my weakness yesterday, କାଲି ଯଦି ତମେ ମୋ ଉପରେ ପିଟି କାଲି ଦୟା ଦେଖେଇ ନଥାନ୍ତ, and hadn't dug those beds for me, ଆଉ ଏଇ ଯେଉଁ ପଟାଳି ସବୁ ତଡ଼ା ହେଲା ଖୋଳା ହେଲା ମୋ ସାଙ୍ଗରେ ଖୋଳି ନଥାନ୍ତ, but had gone your way, ତମେ ଚାଲି ଯାଇଥାନ୍ତ, ଏଠୁ ଚାଲି ଯାଇଥାନ୍ତ, that man would have attacked you, that man would have attacked you, ସେଇ ଲୋକ ତୁମକୁ ଆକ୍ରମଣ କରିଥାନ୍ତ। You might have been stabbed, तुमको छुरी मारी ଦେଇଥାନ୍ତ। You might have been murdered, ତମେ ମରି ଯାଇପାରିଥାନ୍ତ। Not having stayed with me, and you would have repented, R-E-P-E-N-T-E-D, अनुताप କରିବା, and you might have been repented, ତମେ ନିଶ୍ଚିତ ଭାବେ ଅନୁତାପ କରିଥାନ୍ତ, of not having stayed with me, କାରଣ ତମେ ମୋତେ ଛାଡ଼ିକି ଯାଇଥାନ୍ତ। So the most important time was when you were digging the wells. That's why the most important time was when you were digging the wells. ସେଇ ଯେଉଁ ପଟାଳି ତାଡ଼ୁଥିଲ ସେଇ ସମୟଟା ତୁମ ପାଇଁ ସବୁଠାରୁ important ଥିଲା. That was the most important time. And I was the most important man. And remember one thing, I was the most important man. At that time, I was the most important man. ମୁଁ ତୁମ ପାଇଁ ସବୁଠାରୁ ମହତ୍ୱବାନ ବ୍ୟକ୍ତି ଥିଲି. Most important man. Okay, most important man. And to do me good was your most important business. And to do me good, ଆଉ ମୋର ଭଲ କାମ କରିବା, that was your most important business. ମୋର ସାହାଯ୍ୟ କରିବା, ମୋର ହିତ ଚିନ୍ତା କରିବା, that was your most important business. ସେଇଟା ତୁମର ସବୁଠାରୁ important କାମ ଥିଲା। Who told? The hermit told. To whom? To the king. Let's understand how. Afterward, when that man ran to us, ତାପରେ ଏଇଟା ମୋ କଥା ଗଲା। Afterward, ତାପରେ ଯେତେବେଳେ ସେ ଲୋକଟା the man ran to us, ଯେତେବେଳେ ଦୌଡ଼ି ଦୌଡ଼ି ଆସିଲା, the most important time was when you were attending to him. The most important time was when you were attending him. तुम ଯେତେବେଳେ ତାର ସେବା ଶୁଶ୍ରୂଷା କଲ, that is the most important time. ତାର ଯେଉଁ ସେବା କଲ। And for if you had not bound up his wounds, he would have died without having made peace with you. Why? Because if you have not, bandaged his wounds, he might have been dead without making peace with you. ତମ ସହିତ ଶାନ୍ତି ରାଜିନାମା ନ କରିକି ସେ ମରି ଯାଇଥାନ୍ତା। କିଏ କହିଲା? Who told? This is being told by whom? This is being told by whom? This is being told by the hermit. To whom? To the king. Made peace with you. So he was the most important man, and at that time he was the most important man. He was the most important man. ସେ ସବୁଠାରୁ important ଲୋକ ଥିଲା। You are the most important man. And what you did for him was your most important duty. And what you did for him was your most important duty. ଏବଂ ତମେ ଯାହା କଲ, that was the most important duty. ସେଟା ହିଁ ସବୁଠାରୁ ତମର ଭଲ କାମ ଥିଲା, ଭଲ କର୍ତ୍ତବ୍ୟ ଥିଲା। Most important duty, most important business. Remember then. ତାହେଲେ ମନେ ରଖ। Remember then. Okay, there is only one time that is important. There is only one time that is important. What is important? Yes, now, the present. Because we are living in the present. That's why that is important. Okay, next. It is the most important, It is the most important time because why it is most important? Because it is the only time when we have any power. Why it is so important? What is the reason? Yeah, I'm telling. And why it is important? Because within present now I can do anything, whatever I want, because I'm living. वर्तमान रे आमे किछि भी करि परिबा कारण आमे वर्तमान रे बंची छे वर्तमान ही किछि करि परिबा कल किसने देखा है और जो हो गया उसे हम बदल नहीं सकते वी कैन चेंज आवर पास्ट वी हैव नॉट सीन आवर फ्यूचर सो वी हैव टू वर्क इन द प्रेजेंट yes or no I have not seen my future I can change my present so I have to work in my present yes or no did you get my point I can change my future I have not I can change my past I have not pitied daya kariba I have not seen my future I can change my past I'm living in the present so if anything will be done by me that is when that is at present so this is the most important time because it is only time when we have any power এই সময় ଆମ ପାଖରେ କିଛି ଶକ୍ତି ଅଛି ଆମେ କିଛି କରିପାରିବା ତେଣୁ ଏଟା ସବୁଠାରୁ ମୂଲ୍ୟବାନ ଓକେ the most necessary man is he with whom you are ପିଟିଟ୍ କହିଲେ ଦୟା and the people who is most important for you is the person with whom next class will be you tell which chapter do you want to study कौन सा चैप्टर आप लोग पढ़ना चाहते हो कमेंट में बताओ लास्ट कुछ लाइन बचे हैं ओके करुणादीप तो स्वाई या गुड इवनिंग सर गुड इवनिंग so what happens the most necessary man is he with whom you are and with the person with whom you are is the most important person is the most important person in your life why because he can do something for you no other people are around you so that's why he is the most important people for you isn't it yeah so let's see he with whom you are for no man knows whether he will ever have dealing with anyone else because you can't say whether you will be dead or alive तुम बंचिबो ना मरिबो तुम जानिनो आगु को कोन हबो सेति पई तुम सहित जे अछि से ही तुमर सबठारु इंपोर्टेंट पर्सन महत्वपूर्ण लोक तो पिले मु तुमको आउ थरे कहूची तुम नेक्स्ट चैप्टर कोन पढिबा पे चाहूचो काली कूट क्लास पढिबा सेटा तुम मते दियो so never he will okay man knows whether he will ever have dealings with anyone else grammar give me 2 to 3 days पिले मु गोटे ब्लैक बोर्ड अरेंज करूची व्हाइट बोर्ड टा आसिला पर लाइव क्लास करबी ओके मंकीस पॉ is not in the reduced syllabus tapas but when it will come I'll go for that class one else and the most important affair and what is the most important work kamo kota sobutar important pile the most important affair is to do him good moral map yeah okay give me some days and I'll take those class don't worry so to do him so good sobutar important kamo kono sobutar important kamo hela सेई लोक जे आम संगे थिबो सेई लोकर मंगल चिंता करिबा ओके so now we have answered you got the answer 3 question what are the 3 question first time what is the important time present with the important people beside you or in front of you whoever is there with you that is the important people what is the most important work is to do the favor of that people who is with you that is the most important work so because for that purpose alone was man set into this life and why should I do favor of the people who is with me because this is the purpose of life कारण एटा होची जीवनर माने मनुष्य को भगवान जो माने मनुष्य को जन्म देइछन्ती से केवल एथि पई पठेइछन्ती हमकु जे आमे अन्यर मंगल करि परिबा अन्यर हित करि परिबा पिले चैप्टर सरी जाइछि एथरो हम कोन सिखिले we mustn't waste our time we must live a positive life and we must do favor of other अन्य मानकर सब बेले भल चिंता करिबा केते बेले वर्तमान समय को नष्ट करिबा नाही आउ जहा वर्तमान रे करिबा कथा सेटा ही करिबा so wish you all good luck and very good night Meet you, see you tomorrow. Bye bye. Stay safe. Thank you.